Okay, so as you were able to see in this video, I've been testing the location of these components here, the triggers and the bumpers. That is working uh, okay. I'm not totally satisfied with the action here, uh, and it's just a matter of playing with the geometries. Uh, how the flippers tend to this flipper tends to want to hit the ball in that direction more times than any other direction. And I believe it's because of the angle here. It's a direct 90-degree angle when it makes contact with the ball. Um, this right here, I just did this to test this solenoid, this very simple solenoid that I just did a video recently on how to do this. Just direct. This is a direct, um, directly couple solenoid, and using this aluminum foil sticky tape. Here I have a wire underneath here, and I covered that with a little more tape here just to hold the wire together, so that it makes contact, and it's working just fine. And you can see how it's it's working just fine there. This is a little bit loose. I don't quite like this the way it's floating there, so I think I need to put some kind of a tube as part of the motor support. I did a motor support for well, not a motor, but a solenoid support, so that it'll hold the solenoid underneath. And it's got a stem that comes inside the hole inside this base. But I think I need to shrink that hole so that it's a little more, so it doesn't allow this to flap so much here, especially when the ball hitting it. If you hit it, it's there's a risk of damaging this assembly here. So I'm going to have to work a little more on that. These, they work just fine. These I mean, you can bang these, hit them pretty hard, and they work just fine, because they're more like the typical bumpers that you find on the full scale machines. You can see how that's working rather nicely, and they're triggering quite well, provided you hit the right angles. And so, as I was saying, I need to relocate these mechanical bumpers here. This is just a rubber band, some short wide angle or wide rubber bands that I had. I think with the silicone O-rings or maybe bands, I think it'll work a little bit better. These are just your typical rubber bands, for that you find pretty much at any place. These are actually these bumpers are. This is an elastic that you buy at Michael's. The arts supply store. You can buy this it comes in a spool, and basically I just took some sections, I tied a knot, and basically that's what's doing the bumper. They work pretty good. Not as good as silicone rubber bumpers, but it's doing the trick. These also are working rather nicely, as long as they're not too stretched. This one is about the distance that it should be. These are a little bit longer than this guy right here. So you can see how it reacts. But pretty much this is the table that I've been playing around with on and off, just trying to get some a decent layout here. And I did this on the computer, this layout here, in addition to some other layouts. I was playing with the layouts and see how I could get the ball to to go into certain areas. These right here, the ball tends to hit this right here, so I'm going to have to relocate this either a little bit more towards the inside here, or yeah, I mean, I can pivot this, relocate this a little bit inward, so the ball doesn't, so when I hit it with this flipper, it doesn't hit it. But right now these are in the way. So in this, I just did this because I already had a hole there for one of these lights. But I think I'm going to move this somewhere around here. I think it'll be better right there, because it'll give some room for the ball to travel this way. So, and those bumpers are also designed or laid out so that the ball goes like that. It's a little more difficult getting the ball this way right here into this area. But I think if I relocate this here, it'll give me a little more room, like I was saying. But anyway, this is, so I have to work a little bit more here in this area here, because these panels that I put here on the side are just what I had, some remnant pieces of wood. This is I believe this is fiberboard. It's 1/8 inch in thickness, and so I need to strengthen this. I need to put a half-inch, this half-inch plywood, so I need to complete this with half-inch plywood all the way around, so it's nice and sturdy, and this doesn't bend or break. I already cracked it there, while I was moving this around, so I need to work a little more and maybe finish this area here with. I have a strip here, a 3D printed strip that's supposed to cover all these holes here, and it allows the ball to travel nice and smooth. So that'll be I'll be working on that. Once I get these lights, these are supposed to be sequential lights that are supposed to travel up and down, and basically, when you activate this, so that'll activate a switch. The lights will turn on. You'll follow the ball, and just to add a little more pizzazz, you can see how that works with these lights. These actually are supposed to be also sequential lights that are supposed to light up, and I am going to mimic the smaller machine that I was talking about in my other video, that Roker 3D pinball puzzle. It's actually a really nice machine, and it works really well, and it uses bumpers similar to what I explained on this one here. Same thing, but they have a 3 layout set up with a metallic mesh that's attached to the electronics, to the wires, underneath the table, and it works just fine. I mean, it's but of course it's a much smaller machine. It's about that size, almost half the size of this machine. So, but as far as the lights, I am going to assign. I'm going to do the same thing as that on that other machine. I don't plan on selling this. Is just for my own enjoyment and just to play around with, just something to kill some time. But I am going to do the same thing that they did on that machine, where they allocate 100 points, for this one, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1,000 points, at the center. These are more for maybe, to light up, some of these things are lighting up. These I might also put a kicker here, so that it has a little more emphasis when it hits there, and it just kicks the ball with a little more power. So I may put another. I do have some more of these solenoids. I do have some 12 volts. So 12 volts will be fine right here. These are all 24 volt solenoids. Yeah. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace all these bumpers with silicone O-rings, because it just has a little more, a better return, a better elastic or spring, effect with the silicone bumper, especially in corners, where it's a little more solid. You need some kind of a spring there action. So I think the silicone O-rings or bands will work better. I mean, I could 3D print these bands also using TPU, and I think that might work. Maybe not, because this is a PVC tubing right here, and TPU is kind of like PVC tubing. It has a little give and a little stretchability, but not as much as silicone. So so yeah, this is my machine, and this is just to showcase the workings of these two types of bumpers. The simple one and the more like the real thing. Just using foil paper, or this is actually sticky back foil tape. Mario, once again, stay tuned for more.